Hello, we're back. Hopefully it works this time. I'm going to request Miss Ava.
Thank you. So yeah, welcome. Hello. Authors After Dark. Yay!
Hey!
It
Hey,
worked!
we're on!
We did it!
We did it!
Technology cannot stop us.
No!
It's so good to see your face.
I
Hello.
know, it's so good to see you too.
Um, so welcome. Get situated here. Are you good? Is everything
I'm great.
good? Awesome. I'm so excited to talk to you. Um, I've
Thank
been
you for
kind of
having me.
Absolutely. I was talking earlier about how we kind of stumbled across each other because of the indie book cover art contest
Yes.
hosted by Samantha Goodwin, and we were both long list finalists, which
Hmm.
was tremendous because it was
Amazing.
amazing. It was so many entries, and it was judged by people, all over.
I
Um,
know.
and I really liked too when I was kind of cyber stalking you before this interview on Amazon that you've done something really clever with your trilogy. Not only are the titles really fun to say together, but you've kind of made a brand out of the cover art.
I did.
And I kind of, because we met through that, I wanted to just jump in there and just talk about your cover and kind of what's the impetus for that idea. And it's not very typical for an author to reuse that cover, but it totally makes sense
Yes.
within the like what I was reading about the characters and stuff. And so if you wanted to just talk a little bit about that and how you got inspiration for that cover, because it's gorgeous, by the way.
Thank
Everyone
you.
needs to go check them out.
I
um
I basically I've had other books and it's hard to find the right picture for each book in the
mhm.
series.
Yes.
I just thought this would be a brilliant way to make it like known what the book is and have people know like from 1 to 2 to 3,
Mhm.
and so I've just found with my other books, they're all disoriented and all over the
Mhm.
place. So,
Yeah. Yeah. um
and I went with Speechless and Restless, and I know they're common titles, but I just thought it fit the picture.
yeah, I also, as a person who had a very not a long title, but a title with a sentence in it. And
Yeah.
just from a promotion standpoint, you get so sick. Like I have it's TAOT for the Anchor of Time, and so it's nice to have like I'm writing a novella right now, and it's just one word, and it's so nice to just be like shadowless, breathless,
Uh-huh.
speechless. There's something
Yeah.
very nice about that, just from like an authorpreneur standpoint.
Yeah.
Um, how did you get started writing?
I started really young. Like I
Oh,
just
really?
started, yeah, seventh grade. I think I remember doing it.
Yeah.
And then I took it more seriously about 10 years ago.
Okay.
I took it
Okay.
more seriously. I read the Twilight books
Yes.
and I was inspired.
Yeah, I got a little just because of the high school and the shifter aspect. I was like,
Yes.
was she a Stephanie Meyer fangirl like me? Because I was
Well,
so
I
into
mean,
those
you can
books.
see the trees
I,
behind
I was
me.
I was gonna say like I like your Misty Woods.
Oh,
That's very
yeah.
nice. Um, what's the setting for your books? Does it have
It's Pennsylvania,
okay,
Washington,
okay.
PA.
All right.
It's where I grew up.
Nice. Okay, great. So you have a lot of familiarity with the area, and that probably lends a
Yes,
lot
and
of
it's
world
helpful.
building details
Yeah, I
and stuff like
usually
that.
Tell her how you wrote. It was actually your first book you wrote before Forge Game.
Oh, yeah, okay. I have my sister here with me.
That's great. I love it. Support. We all
um,
need support.
yeah, she wanted me to talk about how I had written this book 10 years ago.
Okay.
And it was a really, really big book. It was my first book. And, we're talking like 200,000 words.
Oh
I
wow.
couldn't stop.
Are we talking about Speechless, Restless, and Breathless?
Yeah, this whole
So it
series
was
is
one
from
book.
a bigger book 10 years
Oh,
ago. And
wow.
but my editor at the time said, "Put it under your bed. No one wants to read that."
Oh no. Don't say that.
I know, right?
Someone wants to read your book. I'm telling you, there's so many people in this world. Your niche is out there. That's what I tell
Yeah,
myself when I'm like,
yeah,
who wants to read this? I'm like, someone. There's
yeah,
someone out there. Um,
definitely. And so I just went back to the story. It's one of my sister's favorites, and I thought I would do it for her, and then it just sort of took off. There was just so much material.
Yeah.
So
Is your sister a big motivator and like cheerleader for
yes,
you?
yes. We wrote books together.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, she's kind of like an editor. She reads through.
You're so lucky.
I know, right? I have my own
You're
beta
so
reader.
lucky. Yeah. You have
And
an
my mom's
in-house
an-
beta reader.
Well, I am not that good. I'm
She's
only good at the law.
You're good enough. You got her this far? She's has a third book coming out. You got her this far?
Mhm.
That's pretty good. Sis needs to take some credit. Yeah.
Yeah, you really
I just do
do.
the logic part.
Like she'll be like, Leah, there aren't raspberry slushies at McDonald's.
That's important. That is
I
so.
know.
That's totally important.
You want your raspberry slushy.
You
Character.
need these details are what make a world so absorbing. Like makes
Mhm.
the reader disappear into your book. So
Yeah.
if you're like, well, maybe in Washington, Pennsylvania, they have raspberry slushies, but I don't know about that. You know what I mean? Like
That's
I think
awesome.
that kind of looking into those details is so important. Just to like make a book just seem more real.
Yeah.
So when you wrote this 10 years ago, you did have an editor. So you'd been writing other things
Yes.
before that.
Well, no,
correct?
that was like my first big book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you wrote this big book
Yeah.
and 10 years ago. How long did it take you to write that first really rough draft?
It takes about 3 months.
Oh,
For
wow.
that draft? No,
Yeah.
longer.
Yeah, because you were that was like your first
Yeah.
finished novel?
I couldn't stop. I just kept going.
Yeah.
And going.
Oh, that's the best. When you're in the zone, you're in the stream, you know,
Uh-huh.
the words
Yeah.
are just coming out.
Yeah.
That's so great.
Yeah. Some of my, I go to church and I don't think they'd understand why my characters cuss.
Mhm.
And I'll be like, well, Xavier's not going to say it differently. Xavier's going to cuss.
Yeah. 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 You gotta keep that reality too around your character,
Yeah.
like consistency and what would that character do
Yeah.
makes them more convincing too. So it's
Yeah.
good that it's hard sometimes as writers, you want to self-edit because so-and-so down the block might read your book and what does that mean? But at the end of the day, it's your story.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you allowed your character to cuss when he needed
Yeah.
to.
What did you want me to say,
Oh.
Meg?
I was just gonna say, but your first book you ever published was Foolish Games.
Oh, okay. I don't know if you've ever read this, but the first book I wrote was Foolish Games.
Foolish Games. Okay, that was not on your Amazon page. That's where I mainly stalked you.
Oh, okay.
Well, because that's
Yeah.
under Leah Spiegel.
Oh, yeah.
That's why.
Yeah,
So I should say that. And is your other pen name, is it Ava Cates? Am I saying
It's
that right?
Ava Cates, yeah.
Okay, good. So your pen name is Ava Cates for Speechless, Restless, and Breathless.
Yes.
But you are also published under your actual name, Leah
Yes.
Spiegel.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Now
Yeah.
we've got everyone, you heard that, we've all got that sorted.
Yeah.
We're going to call her Leah for the
Well, I
interview,
mean-
but
Ava Cates happened because, I go to church and all those ladies aren't going to want to, I didn't want them to find out about my romances.
mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I mean, that's why I have a pen name. My name is Tina, but that's not, Capricorn is not my last name. I wish it was.
That's
But
awesome.
I started writing my first book, The Anchor of Time, like over 6 years ago. And at the time I was working full time in a salon. And I was like,
Oh.
I don't want anyone to be in my chair while I'm cutting their hair and be like, I don't get your book. Will you just explain it to me? Like,
Oh, God.
that to me made me like, because you're a captive audience,
Yes.
or I call it a conversation hostage.
Yeah,
When you do hair, so I was like, I don't want to be a conversation hostage about my own book, So I find it, at least at first, it was one of the hardest things for me to talk about was my work.
Yeah,
And I can't imagine. Oh, go ahead.
it can be brutal. I've had
Yeah.
people make videos of how great they love my books and then videos of how badly they hate my books.
Oh no.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine either when your editor was like, put this under the bed. That was very uplifting for you, like how did you kind of overcome maybe some critique like that? Because, when you're a baby author and you're out in the wilderness and someone knocks you down, it's really hard to shake off that imposter syndrome.
Oh, yeah.
So what did you do to kind of get back on the horse?
Stayed
so to
under the
speak?
bed, and
Mhm.
it could have, but What do you think, Meg?
I think you learned being Leah Spiegel that either people are gonna love it or hate it, and you just gotta love writing for you and for me. Like you write
Yeah.
for me, so and that's why you put that Spiegelist out there. You just put it under another
Mhm.
name.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
But
Sis is right.
Mm-hmm.
but I
It's
mean,
usually
You gotta write. Yeah.
you just get comments of people saying, oh, I just wanted to put this book down, and, like this long comment, and be like, put the book down then.
If
Yeah.
you don't want to read it, put the book down.
Yeah.
Don't be
It's
offended.
okay. Yeah.
Not every book is for every person.
That's absolutely right. Oh my God. I wish I had a pen that said that. Not every book is for every person. Because I've read books and I'm like, I can see why people are obsessed with this, but I don't know if it's for me. Like, here's
Yeah.
the point.
Gone Girl.
Oh, people are all about Sarah J. Maas.
I read Gone Girl, and I was like, I want the time back that I read it.
And then they made it into a movie.
Yeah.
I know. That's what I'm
You
saying.
know?
I mean, that's why I used that one, because I mean, obviously it's so successful. But
Yeah.
like,
Someone
I
liked
love
it.
to read, and that's one
Yeah.
book I read, and I was like, yeah, I wish I had not.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so, but I would never I don't know, go on Amazon and write like 3 paragraphs about why I didn't like the book. I just keep that to
That just
myself.
seems really harsh, And
Yeah, keep
for
the
me,
negativity to yourself.
yeah, yeah. If I liked a book, if I was okay about a book, I would say, hey, this book had this, this, and this. I don't think it was for me, but I did finish it. I'd recommend it to people that like this genre.
Yeah,
You know, and that's all you have to do. You don't have to be mean.
Mhm.
So, well, I'm glad you have your sister for emotional support through
I
all
know,
of that,
right?
because that's the hardest thing
I made
as a
her
writer.
come.
She's
I made her.
amazing. Yeah. That's the hardest thing as a writer too. It's a very solitary occupation. It's really hard to community build, especially after this last year we've had where we've had to stay
Oh,
apart
yeah.
so much. The normal places that writers would hang out with other writers and meet people, like conferences
Oh,
and
yeah.
stuff like that. You did it virtually, and I did a virtual conference, and I got more interaction from this than I did the conference, just because when you're in a big Zoom, you really can't get that connection.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, I want a virtual writer's lounge where I can just chat with other writers
Yeah.
and be like, what do you do? Which, brings me to my next question. What's your kind of writing routine like? Are you a get up and write immediately?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, as soon as you get
in
up.
the morning, I'm excited to wake up. I'm excited to tackle it, and I have to stop at noon, or I'd go all the way to 4.
Right? Yeah.
I have to have a life. There was a time where I
Yeah.
just did it like all
Yeah.
day, but
Wow.
yeah,
You get so wrapped up in your own world. It's like you're a divided person, I feel like.
yes,
'Cause you, as a writer, can be so committed to your story and your world building
Yes.
to the point where you're like, oh yeah, I should eat dinner.
My favorite is, what's Xavier doing right now?
Oh, I love that. So you're really invested in your characters, and
Yeah.
do you have like conversations with him? Do you
No.
what's your how do you okay, this is a better question. How do you design your characters? Do you have like a notebook where you kind of put what they look like and stuff down, or do you kind of write it and it just happens?
They just formulate over working and working and working, and it's one of my best attributes is making these characters.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fun, and they just in my mind I keep a line like, would Xavier be like on his line, his path, and so and so like that.
You should tell me plots coming up, and I'll be like, oh, I can see Xavier saying this.
Yeah, you get excited.
So you do have a little bit of a dialogue about him. That's so great. You have your sister to bounce ideas off like that.
Yeah, it's great.
I have to do that to myself.
Oh, wow. I got my mom too.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. It's a family affair over there.
Yeah, it is.
That's so fun. So oh yes, Andy
The
says
steaminess.
between
I just want
Xavier
to say
and
on
Julia.
that, they finally hook up in the 4th book. Okay?
Oh, no big deal. That's so fun. You've heard it from the author, y'all, so you've got that to look forward to.
I know. Some people are
When
like, about
is
time.
That's my favorite.
so
book
the next
so far.
so Fearless is after Breathless,
Yeah, it's the next one.
It's my
and that's
it's my
the fourth
favorite.
one.
That's her favorite.
Oh, because this was all part of, again, the big volume that was under your bed of
Yes.
all of the books.
Yes.
Oh,
It was a
wow.
huge book.
Wow.
It was
Yeah.
huge.
I have a 100K document now that's not finished that I want to shove under my bed because I'm afraid of it because it's so big. I can't imagine a 200K.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and so when you wrote this, did you plan anything? Did you have an outline?
The
Did
way
you pick
I
names?
do it is if I have like, I'll know the plot about 3 or 4 weeks into their life. Like I'll have a basic plot of like what I want them to do and how I want it to end. But I get in the car. I once heard this description. I get in the car and I drive with them. You know, I get like, you know, I go with, you know, to a certain extent, and then that's why I feel like they're so real, because they're like in real time. Do you have anything?
Yes, I think that makes sense. Like you do have the end plot, but sometimes you don't know. Like you're still changing the plot, like because you're adding on to it now.
Yeah.
Which that's the only part when you write like this that makes it hard. Like I want her to have like index cards and like post them up on the wall and be like,
a lot of people do.
Yeah.
But she just writes. She just sits down. And
I get like a blank page, and I just get a blank page.
Oh,
and
man.
It takes over.
That's a talent. It really is.
Thank you.
I think,
So many people are like, I'm going to write a book. And I'm like, okay, yeah, sure you are. Wait till you sit down and actually start it.
That blank page can be very intimidating for some people. Yeah. And the statistic I've heard tossed around is about 93% of people that set out to write a novel don't complete it.
Yeah.
So we're in the minority, first of all. We're the people that made it. We got published, we finished. Yeah.
When I first came out with my books, all my friends were like, here, I'm writing a story. Read it.
A lot of people, that happened to me too. A lot of people were like, well, I'm writing too. And I'm like, cool, it's really hard.
Yeah.
Good luck. It's really hard and really lonely and full of existential dilemmas and angst. So, a lot of self-doubt, a lot of, you'll get like 50K in and be like, this is crap. I don't think anyone wants to read this.
Sometimes, and it's exciting when you get it right. Like, you can be like, yes, I did it right.
Yeah. We're like, I can't wait till someone reads this scene. They're going to just, their lives will change. Okay. Oh, man. So you have, is the 4th book the last book?
No, I'm going to have 6 books.
Okay. And are you calling it the Restless series?
Speechless series.
Speechless series. Okay.
Yeah.
Although I like the first one.
Yeah. Although Restless is my favorite so far.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's one of my favorites. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm on book 5, and I'm on book 5, and I love that one too.
Okay. And so, and again, Breathless is coming out May 24th. Yes. It's available for pre-order right now on Amazon. And then Fearless is coming out sometime.
Soonish.
I don't want to pressure you. I know art takes time. But before the end of the year, you think?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So you're going to be an author with 5 titles by the end of 2021. No big deal. That's amazing. I'm in awe of you, first of all. 5 books is amazing. How many other books do you have published under your other name?
About 10.
Wow. And so how is your writing habits, how have they changed since you started writing?
Well, like I said, I had to like set time schedules, or else I would be doing it all day. And I don't know. What do you think, Meg?
You used to not have the end of the plot. You used to literally just start writing and see where the story takes
my favorite thing is back in the day, Meg would be like, what's going to happen? I'm like, I don't know. I didn't ask that character yet.
And like, I have to know, or at least you're driving too.
Yeah. Back in the
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she, I mean, Leah was very successful.
I had an agent look at one of my books.
Oh, wow. When was this?
Yeah, and they really loved it, and it went over really well. But he wanted to change everything.
Oh.
He wanted to make my little guy character into a girl.
Oh.
That didn't work out
Okay.
well.
Yeah. So he wanted to change it into a YA romance with.
No, this was my children's book. He wanted mid-teen. Yeah.
A mid-teen. Okay.
Yeah.
That's still young adult. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Young adult paranormal romance is kind of how I pitched you. Is that how you kind of? Is that
Foolish Games is like a realistic fiction. So it's kind of fun to write two different kinds, and
that is fun.
You get to create your own world in one, and then you're in a certain parameter with the real.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's kind of not, you get to feel like how all of it feels.
South Hill Sidekicks.
Yeah.
Realistic.
South Hill Sidekicks was also a realistic one.
Okay. And do you work on any of those at the same time, like simultaneously? You're like
no, I can't do that.
Okay.
I can't do
Neil
it.
Gaiman does that like a weirdo, but some people.
Can you do it?
I'm about to do it, but I'm also doing it within the same series. Like I have a prequel novella, and then I'm also finishing book 2. And honestly, I feel like that's helping me because I'm like, it's a time travel, so everything's out of order, but I still need to know what happens. And so it's been good for me because it helps me keep those, fill in those gaps. Because you can tell a story out of order if you make that one chunk really compelling.
I get so confused. With Fearless, the next book, I had to go back and retell the beginning, and it was very confusing. I've heard people can start in the middle of their book, the end of the book, they can come back.
Mm-hmm.
I learned the hard way.
Yeah. A lot of times, too, if I'm 3/4 of the way into a story and I don't know how to finish it, sometimes I'll go in and I'll write a few ending scenes that I'm like, I like how this feels. I don't know how they'll get here. But I just like how this feels. Yeah. That's something that I do sometimes when I have a block because I hate endings. Forever. Like, I hate series endings. I hate book endings. Like, I won't watch them. Like, after I've watched the movie, I'll, skip the last 15. I'm like, I don't want to see the end. I don't know what it is about endings.
I hate blurbs of the book. That's my thing.
I hate those too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so hard.
How do you summarize in so many words?
Yeah, how do you summarize? And then our guest last week, S.A. Sabuchi, she actually got her found on PitMad. Do you know what PitMad is?
Yeah,
on Twitter. And so she is one of those. I'm like, you're like a unicorn. I've never heard of someone actually getting found on PitMad because it's such a crazy thing. But that's how she found her little publisher, Sage's Tower. And I was like, give me your knowledge. How did you make a tweet?
I know.
That's worse than a blurb. That's, only a few words. Because for me, it's there's so much to writing a good blurb. One writing class I was in talked about writing a back blurb is like casting a single pebble in a pond and watching the ripples. So you don't need to talk about the entire pond. You just need to talk about that stone falling in, which can help you as an author really hone in on what is the drop in the pond that starts this book or would compel the reader to open it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's helpful.
Yeah. Oh, good. I sometimes I'm like, that sounds good, but then when you get to that blank page, you're like, well, I wrote 90,000 words, so I didn't have to summarize it.
Yeah, I used to be like, read it and then find out.
Yeah, it'll be great. What's your book about? I don't know. This girl cuts hair and time travels. It's pretty cool. It's so hard to say.
I want to write a book about Christians with the powers like demon casting and prophecies. And people are like, Christian book with kids?
Yeah. But your audience is out there. I'm saying. They're out there.
That's awesome.
People want to read that. That's what I think. When you have a book that defies genre or maybe bend a genre, demon, paranormal, but this Christian fiction. I'm like, well, they want to read about vampires and werewolves too, you know, like why not have it within that reality, you know?
Yeah, I don't ever usually look at what's being published now.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of just go by my own. You know, some people be like, "That's not in the market right now," you know, and I don't. I should, but I don't.
People tell me that vampires aren't in it. I'm like, they're in forever for me.
you
know, I'm like forever.
That's not going away.
It's not, and I think too, you know, and within your paranormal romance, your major fantasy creature is, it said shifting, so it's, I would assume that's werewolves, or is it any kind of animal?
No, it's any kind of animal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Shift scenes.
They can shift scenes. You know, there's not much they can't shift.
Oh, so they have like actual powers to shift,
yeah,
not just their physical. Oh
no.
My.
Yeah. Oh, well, again, the first book I wrote was written like that, so I kept it true to that.
Right. Okay. That's so interesting. I'm so intrigued now.
And some are better shifters than others. Like they all have
different
gifts of it.
Okay. So not everyone is like the ultimate gift, because you can't.
Yeah. Like again,
everyone can't be talented. Yeah.
But it's like I don't follow the.
Okay.
My mom would be like, Leah, no, those don't go together. But I would still create it as if it did.
Yeah. Okay. So could you give me an example of could you talk about one of the main characters and their shifting abilities, like from your first book, Speechless?
From my first book.
Or is it different characters each book?
No, they're all the same, but they start off with different shifts. Like the main character doesn't know that she is a shapeshifter.
Okay.
So she finds out that she's deaf. And then she finds out that she can hear people, and the people she can hear are shapeshifters.
Oh, okay.
And that when they talk to each other, not to the other humans, she hears them, and it freaks her out because she's like, "Am I getting my hearing back?" Because she lost her hearing in a car.
Yeah.
And she realizes that she is actually part of this world. And not only she's part of this world, but she's like she's a prophecy. She's the one that's going to be,
and the others.
Yeah, she's going to end this other group that's a group of really powerful shapeshifters.
Okay. Wow, that is really fascinating. I have some questions from some viewers. Would you mind answering those?
Oh, sure.
This is from Ambi Reeds. She said, "Not sure if you can say, but who do you like more for Julia, Xavier or Luke/Jeremy? And what inspired the ideas for the Speechless series?" Which you kind of talked about a little bit.
Yeah.
It just kind of came out of you. You just started.
Megan was Xavier. Xavier.
Oh, okay. Xavier's the one.
I didn't know I was gonna fall in love with this character in the first book. I thought, oh no, I don't know, but I have a big heart. I have a big sigh right there for Xavier. And I like Jeremy. Jeremy was my favorite in Speechless. But Xavier
holds on to Jeremy, but I think as
other people want me to let go of Jeremy and let it be Luke.
We want her to let go of Jeremy and be completely with Xavier, but the fact that she won't let go of his best friend, as a reader, can be frustrating.
I've already heard about it from my friends. You gotta get rid of Jeremy, but my heart is he's such his own character. It's hard to get rid of him, because Luke just feels a little different than Jeremy. And so it's like hard for me to,
Now, I noticed that it's Luke/Jeremy.
Yeah.
Is that the same person that they shift to?
Yes. I don't want to give any spoilers away.
But you already did.
I read it.
That's okay. I'm still going to read this because...
Awesome.
What? Okay. A Midsummer Night's reads, "How do you know when to stop a book and start the next? We all know you're the queen of cliffhangers." And so I guess this more pertains to, you had this really big document and you had to split them up. How did you find those natural ending points in that big manuscript?
I get to a certain part and it just feels right. It's just, it's like one of those moments where it's like they've all come together and
a problem has been solved.
A problem has been solved. And then there's the cliffhanger for the next one.
And then here's a new problem.
And here's a new problem.
Okay.
Yeah, and I like to do a little bit of a twist where you think you're going to get one thing and then you get the other thing.
You like to stab your readers in the heart. Okay.
Apparently.
They close it and they're just like, oh, I can't wait for the next one.
That's awesome.
One of my friends said, "What time zone are you in?" Because I wanted to call you. I wanted to text you about this. And it was the middle of the night. And look at the time zone.
Oh. So you have...
Yeah, it's a Midsummer's Night Reads, Jen.
Oh, she was the one that wanted to call you.
Yeah.
She's doing the giveaway. We should definitely mention that giveaway for anyone that's watching or anyone that's watching this. When does the giveaway end? Just so June people 1st. Know on this. Okay. So if you're watching this video and it's before June 1st, you can still enter the giveaway. It's on a Midsummer Night Reads profile. She's watching here in the vid. You can click on her profile link, and she's doing a giveaway for all 3 books, Speechless, Restless, and Breathless.
Go, you got it.
I got it. And then Fearless is coming before the end of 2021 for anyone who is speechless, restless, and about to be breathless, apparently.
I want to also give a shout out to Christine at Anxious, Tattooed, and Bookish. She's editing it right now.
Oh, great. I saw her stop in. Oh, that's wonderful. You had so much support. I love that for you.
I know, right?
And that all just kind of came naturally. You had people in your family that were supportive.
Yes. And honestly, what I believe is I got saved like 6 years ago, and it just seems like whenever I want something or pray for something, he's faithful. So it just feels like,
like got a lot of support on Instagram.
Oh yeah, I got a lot of friends on Instagram.
Yeah, I've seen it. The response I've had from just being like, I'm going to talk to her. Like you have some people that are really following your work, which is great.
I know. And I was scared to go as Ava Cates because I had a nice following.
You did have a following under your other name.
Under my other name,
yeah.
So I was a little nervous that this might not take off.
Yeah, fresh start and all that.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you have some very dedicated fans, which I was taking this other marketing class, and it was talking about success as an author, as an indie author. And one of the things that's a great metric of success is your fans and how much they're into you. And it's like you just need 1,000 to make a living as an indie author. You just need 1,000 people that just love your work. You don't need 100,000.
No.
You just need 1,000 people that are behind you 100%. Yeah. Can't wait to buy your next book. Want to talk to your book to their family, request it at the library. Like you don't. Yeah. That's what the thing is. I think it is such an uphill battle to get a book finished and published. But the idea that you need 7,000 or 1 million, whatever, you don't. You just need a small contingency of people that are like, your art is worth it. Your art is what I want. You. Yes, absolutely.
I also think Amazon is a great place to publish. Yeah, you get in their top 100 and it takes off.
Are you Amazon exclusive? Are you on any other platforms?
No, Amazon's my place.
Okay. Awesome. Let's see, we've got some more questions. Oh wait, I think we've got all of our questions. Oh, thank you for putting these book babies in the world, says Ambi Reads.
Oh,
you've got some fans. People love you. That's so great.
They're so awesome.
That's so great. Yeah.
So awesome.
So I know this is probably jumping the gun a little bit, but what's after the Restless series for you?
I'm thinking about doing a Christian book with superpowers.
Okay.
Yeah. Like cast out demons.
That'll be fun.
And,
now, is that going to be like superpowers like superheroes or still more kind of like a paranormal?
I guess a paranormal.
Yeah.
Paranormal.
Okay.
Seem like they're
no
regular
capes.
humans.
They'll seem regular
humans, but I guess they're like angels.
No spandex.
No.
Okay.
No.
Not those kind of supers. Okay.
No.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Be first in line. Any parting, like, advice you would have for anyone who's just starting out writing
just believe in yourself. Just believe and enjoy it. Enjoy the process. Enjoy writing, because in the end of it, writing is what you have. It's your gift.
Mm-hmm. It is. It's such a gift, and especially talking about the production, how much you can, you're the queen of not being afraid of the blank page. That's such a big thing for a lot of beginning writers. But you can't edit an empty page, so you just got to get something out there.
Yeah.
What are some? Do you write mainly on the computer? Do you do any longhand?
I do it on my phone.
You do it on your phone?
I do it on my phone.
What? So you just type it on your phone? Do you dictate?
No, I write.
Wow. Oh my gosh. You had a 200K thing.
Oh no,
that
one is under the bed. I pull from it.
Okay. But that one was written on your phone too?
No, you typed that on a computer.
I typed that on a computer.
Oh, I'm happy for your thumbs that you typed that. That'd be a lot
awesome.
And then this happened. That's so impressive. So you do your rough draft on the phone on Google Docs, and then what happens after that?
My sister goes through and edits, then my mom goes through and edits, and then I have a lady, Lenny, surgically, who goes through it. I have like beta readers and stuff. That's pretty much my process.
No, you just met. Who caused it?
Oh, and Jen and Christine.
Okay.
Anxious, Tattooed, and Bookish.
Yeah.
Jen's on here too. A Midsummer's Night Reads.
Okay. They both are beta readers for you.
I'd like Jen to be my beta reader, and Christine is so far my beta reader.
And do they take other projects, or is this just like because y'all are
I
friends?
got lucky.
Okay.
This is just fans who like the book. I mean, I'm so blessed.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm blessed to have
so many that you are, because so many authors talk about how hard it is to get someone to give a little practice read,
Yeah. In the past, my sister's a teacher, so in the past I would just give it out to all of the 4th grade.
That's awesome.
So that means if there was appropriate, the higher readers.
The higher, yes.
Some of the kids would be like, I want to read a book. I'm like, not yet. Wait till you're in middle school, and then
it's a young adult romance. So we're gonna just wrap up here. Pause and Pages by Annie says, why did she choose the same cover for all 3 books? Which we kind of talked about at the beginning. It was a great cover, and
they're consistent.
Brand awareness. Yeah, brand awareness. Hard. It looks good on.
It's hard
I'm sure it looks.
Covers are hard for indie authors.
They are, and I'm sure also too. It's they look good on a shelf together.
Yeah, they really do.
Especially because you knew you were going to have a series.
Yeah.
So yeah, you really want something that looks, kind of like looks good on the rack, looks good on the shelf.
If you look at my Foolish Games book, it was just a heart and some notes, some music notes, and
yeah,
I don't know.
Did you hire someone to make that cover, or?
I found the cover on Big Stock.
Nice.
I know,
I've never
right?
heard of Big Stock.
Yeah, Big Stock Photography, like a photo site.
Oh, that's cool.
And then I just wrote Speechless over. I did the font.
So you basically designed your cover as well.
Yeah.
And you made it into that cover.
I know.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm so glad I talked to you to get all these pro tips. Writing on your phone. I do take some notes on my phone. I'm always afraid I'm going to I don't know.
Delete them?
Yeah.
I'm always afraid. Like, one time I thought, if someone goes for my purse, I'll be like, just please leave the phone.
Just leave the phone. But also, if you do put it on Google Docs, I'm editing a manuscript on Google Docs right now. It is in the cloud, so there's that.
Yes, but I did this on notes first. So I'd be like,
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. My husband bugs me all the time to save my document in 3 places: on a USB, on the cloud, and obviously on the machine, which I do.
I get a little weird, like when I'm scrolling on Google Docs, I don't want anything to get erased.
Yes. That's the only thing with a really big document is sometimes Google Docs really weirds out on me. I don't know if it's like my internet, and then I was reading just about how it kind of
or your
uploads
internet. Is your internet up? And you're like, I just wrote a really good scene. I hope that's there.
Yeah, is that still going to be there?
Yeah.
That would be my only thing about Google, but I write on Scrivener's mainly.
Oh, that's a good one.
I like Scrivener's a lot, but I'm still trying to find that once you have the rough and then you are editing it, what do you do next? So I printed it out and did it longhand.
Awesome.
And then just like did that, and now I'm doing this new. It feels a little bit like torture, but I'm doing this new editing technique where I take that longhand copy that I've written all over, and I'm not going back to my original document on Scrivener's. I'm typing it in fresh.
Okay.
Which the scenes I've written, I'm like, this already feels like it's several drafts ahead than the first time I tried to do this. But it also feels like I'll be editing forever. Forever. Look, what's Tina doing? Oh, she's still editing. The year 2050, Tina's still editing. So.
I can't wait to read your book.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. I put it on my TBR.
Oh, great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I have a spin-off novella, Shadow Glass, coming out later this summer that I hope
you should send me a copy of your book, and I'll make a graphic for it. That's what I love to do on my Ava Cates books.
Oh, great. I totally will. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Cool.
Yeah.
This is just a little novella, but I'm just kind of trying to really hone in on how do I get the rough to the next step. That's a little less, because I don't have a mom and sis that want to go through. They want to read it. They want to read it when I deliver it to their Kindle. That's when they want to read it, which they do, but they don't want to read the rough,
Yeah.
I have some other friends that are like, I would love to proofread for you, and I'm like, that's because you're a crazy person. I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, you need a support system, man.
It's so important. It really
is. You have to have like a family core or a friend core or something that helps you, because I can't catch everything in when I do it myself.
No, you really can't. And the idea too, I just finished an editing course. I took an editing course in my community college, and in this professional editing course, one of the things they said is you need to abandon the idea of a perfect manuscript.
That's pretty hot.
Which I thought was, it's like we as editors, we as humans can only do so much. Spell check can only do so much, Because if you spelled I'm going to meet him, MEAT, spell check's not going to catch that,
Or raspberry slushies at McDonald's.
Exactly. There's no software that does that. You still need the human touch, and that's what makes stories so amazing. But anyway, it has been lovely to chat with you.
Hey, you too.
And you have your next book is coming out May 24th. It's for pre-order right now on Amazon. The Restless series?
The Speechless series.
Speechless series. Speechless, Restless, Breathless,
Good.
Fearless coming later. It's been so great to chat with you and just kind of learn about all of your techniques and your journey. And I'm leaving feeling inspired. And I hope that I gave you some tips or tricks that might help out too.
I think this whole process was good for me. It's one of my first experiences.
Because you're going to be promoting your Breathless for the rest of the week. Where's your next? Do you having any other live events or anything like that?
No, not this week. This is it.
Okay.
And
great.
it's pretty cool. It fell on a Monday for the whole week.
I love it. I love doing an interview on Monday because Mondays are so hard. So it's nice to begin the week with a little inspiration, talking to someone else about their art and stuff like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So thank you so much for letting me talk to you.
You too.
Awesome. Well, I will see you on the internet.
Okay, I'll see you.
Awesome. Bye, guys. See you next week on Authors After Dark.
Bye.